Hey guys, happy Monday. I hope you had a great weekend. For today's video, I thought I would kick off the week by filming a chatty get ready with me. I just sat down and talked through some topics and did my makeup today. I've been wearing this look in a couple of my recent videos and a lot of you guys have been asking me to film a video on it. So that is what I have for you guys today. I hope you enjoy it. I do want to film a second get ready with me during the month of December. So if there's a certain look you want to see, just let me know in the comments below. I wore a green smoky eye that a couple of you said you wanted to see, or maybe I'll do like an easy 10-minute makeup look. Just let me know and I'll film either one of those or something different. But also make sure you leave me a comment below. I asked a bunch of random questions in this video because I didn't want the conversation to be one-sided. I want to hear from you guys. So if you have a comment about any of the things that I chatted about, or you want to give me an update on how you're doing, I would love to read your comment and chat with you guys. And if there's anything you want to see on my channel during the month of December, make sure you let me know in the comments below so I can film it for you. Otherwise, let's jump into it and I'll show you guys how I got this makeup look. So I'm going to start with the eyes today because I am using a glitter shadow all over the lid, and I usually like to start with my eyes when I use glitter shadows. In general, I do my eyes first anyways, but this one is the Urban Decay Eyeshadow Primer Potion, and I just have the original version. I feel like it does a good job at locking my shadows into place, but still keeping my eyes or my eyelids hydrated because my eyelids get so dry during the winter time. So I'm going to use 3 different palettes today. I'll be using the Kat Von D Shade and Light palette, the ColourPop Golden State of Mind palette, and then also the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette, but honestly you could get a pretty similar look just using this palette if you guys are interested. I'll link everything in the description box below that I talk about, including prices and everything like that. So I'm going to start with the Anastasia Modern Renaissance palette. I'm just going to take the lightest shade in the palette and apply that all over the lid. I like to set my eyeshadow primer into place before I go in with any additional shadows. I just feel like shadows blend a lot better on top of shadow rather than on top of an eyeshadow base. So I usually just take the lightest color in any palette and do that. So it is Monday today when I'm filming this. I'm hoping to get this video uploaded for you guys tonight, but I hope you had a great weekend. I'm so tired today. I kind of started drinking coffee a little bit more, and I don't always drink it. Like, I don't need it to get through the day. Like, my husband loves his coffee, and if he doesn't have it, he has a hard time getting through the day. I'm not like that yet, but we only have one car, which is fine the majority of the time. But if I ever need to run an errand or I want like a coffee in the middle of the day, Brady usually has to like run and grab it, or we have to switch the car. Sometimes it's a little bit of a juggling act with one car. Usually it's fine though. We just don't want to spend the money on a second car, to be honest, if we don't need one right now. We'll have to end up buying one once we have kids and stuff, but that's going to be a little while. So we figured we would just stick with one car for now. So he is actually heading back this way, and he said he'll bring me coffee, which makes me really excited. I'm going to go in with this really pretty cool toned pink shade, and this is going to be the color that I'm going to use as a transition, but also a little bit in the crease. I want the eye look to look pretty pink, so I'm just going to apply a ton of this shadow. This shadow blends really nicely, so I feel like it makes it really simple and easy, and it's nicely pigmented. It's just a really beautiful color. I am proud to say that I did go and work out this morning, which usually helps with my energy levels, but I feel like it helps later on during the day. Like right after I work out, I'm usually exhausted for like an hour or two, but then later in the day, I don't get that like 2 or 3 p.m. like energy decline. So I do think it works. It's just like right afterwards, I'm really tired. A lot of you guys have been asking me about what I've been doing, which is really nice of you guys. Thanks for asking. I mentioned it in, I forget what video, but I talked about how I started going to a personal trainer, which has been amazing. This is actually my 4th full week, so it's been about a month, which it feels like it's been so much longer. I did not realize that I was so ridiculously out of shape. Like, I knew I was out of shape. I knew that I needed to go to a trainer or do something, but the first 2 weeks were so hard. And they do work with you, like they work with your fitness level, obviously, but I was even doing like the most basic things and I was having a hard time. And thankfully it's gotten a little bit better. Like, I feel like I'm getting stronger already, which is awesome. And it's been fun to see those results. Friday is actually like my first official weigh-in, and they're going to take my measurements and everything to see like how far I came since the beginning. So I'm looking forward to seeing that as well. I feel like though I've mainly noticed a huge difference in my energy levels. I recently read a book. One of my New Year's resolutions was to read 17 books in 2017, and I think I'm on like 12, and I have 1 month left, so I'm getting there. I do listen to some of them on Audible, which I guess some people wouldn't count as reading. Honestly, as long as you're taking that information in, I think, you know, it's better than what I did before. Last year, I think I read maybe like 2 books. This year, I did read like some actual physical books, but I also listened to some on Audible as well. This video is not sponsored by Audible. I know some people do work with them, which I think is cool. I think it's an awesome thing. That's actually how I first heard about it on YouTube. So I read a book called The 4 Tendencies by Gretchen Rubin. She actually wrote a book that's pretty popular called The Happiness Project, which I didn't read. I was kind of curious to read that one too. But The 4 Tendencies kind of sounded interesting. It's all about how you respond to expectations, whether they are inner expectations or outer expectations. And there are like 4 main ways that people respond to them. There's actually like an online quiz if you guys are interested. I'll link it below. And if I forget for whatever reason, which I'll try not to, I'm usually pretty good about remembering, just let me know in the comments below. But I think it will give you at least a little bit of insight. I think you'll probably have to read the book to find out like your full, like all the information about your tendency. But I am an obliger, which basically means that I respond really well to outer expectations, but not very well to inner expectations. And that's not true in all areas of my life, but it's definitely true when it comes to health and fitness. I'm going to go in with the Shade and Light palette and take this like cooler toned brown right here. You can also use the brown from the Modern Renaissance palette, but it's just a little bit too pigmented for me for this eye look, so I'm just going to use this brown. After I read the book, I think the thing that like mainly resonated with me was the fact that I could really apply this to health and fitness. And health and fitness, I hate to say it, isn't really something that I focused on for like the past year or two. It just hasn't been a priority for me. I focused on a lot of other areas of self-improvement, but health and fitness hasn't been a main priority for me, which again, I hate to say it, but it's true. I mean, I'm sure some of you guys can relate. There's just so many things about myself that I always want to work on and I always want to improve. And they're not mutually exclusive. Like just because you're working on your mental health doesn't mean you can't work on your physical health. But for some reason in my mind, I'm like, well, I'm putting all my energy toward my mental health and I'm working on not being stressed and having a morning routine and all of that kind of stuff, so I don't have time to work on my physical health. And I will say I've made a lot of improvements in life when it comes to mental health and things like that, and I mean that takes a lot of work too, but like I said, they're not mutually exclusive. And honestly, physical health plays such a big part, like such a big role in your mental health. So anyways, I just thought about it, and on like a personal trainer, joining a gym, like that hadn't really been something that was like on my radar to do this time of the year. Like this is supposed to be the fun time of year where you can eat whatever you want and there's Christmas cookies and stuff like that. But I figured why not jump on it now before the new year. And after reading that I respond really well to outer expectations, I thought I needed that outer accountability. I've done like group fitness classes, like I went with a friend and we did like Zumba and hip hop and it was so much fun. And I felt like that did work well, but I also felt like if I was missing from the class that had like 30 people in it, it wasn't a big deal. I wasn't paying a ton of money for the classes. I think it was like, I don't know, $30 a month. So it was affordable, but I didn't really feel any, I guess, downside when I missed one, other than, you know, I was letting myself down. But because I don't really respond really that well to inner expectations anyways, you know, it wasn't the end of the world. So like I said, I Googled them in my area and I found this fitness studio that looked just like the perfect fit. It just looked clean and high quality, and they honestly looked like they were interested in helping you personally, and it wasn't just like this giant gym that just kind of wanted your membership fee every single month. So I emailed them and they got back to me right away. The owner texted me, we got on a call and I just kind of told him about my personal fitness goals and where I was at, and then I went in to meet him like a few days later, and it honestly just felt like such like the perfect fit for me. So I'm going to take the ColourPop Golden State of Mind palette, which I know this has some mixed reviews. I've talked about it in a few of my recent videos, but honestly, it's one of my favorites. I actually had to like stop myself from using it so often because I was wearing it every single day. I just think it's a beautiful palette, and there is a little bit of fallout, but honestly, once the shadows are on the eyes, they stay in place really well and I don't have any problems. My favorite shadow is this center one right here. I wear it with so many eye looks. I just blend mattes into the crease and, you know, as transition colors, and then I take my finger and apply this shadow all over the lid. So that's what I'm going to do with this one. I literally just kind of pack it onto the lid. I try to keep it below the crease, but if it gets up into the crease area, it's fine. But as you guys can tell, I mean, there's not really a whole lot of fallout. Sometimes I experience a little fallout, but once the actual shadow's in place, it stays in place for me. And I just think this palette is so fun for the holiday season. So I would recommend it. I've honestly been enjoying it a lot. So I'm going to apply liner. I'm using the Physicians Formula Eye Booster 2-in-1 Lash Boosting Eyeliner and Serum. This is a product that I have loved for a really long time. I actually haven't had it in my collection for a little while because I was using a couple of other eyeliners. I was trying to finish them up, but I started using this one again because I ran out of my Kat Von D tattoo liner, and I love it so much. I've missed having it in my collection. It just works so well. So I'm going to go in and do my foundation. I'm going to start with the Smashbox Photo Finish Primerizer, which is extra moisturizing. I've been talking about this nonstop on my channel. So to be honest, I'm sure a lot of you guys are sick of hearing about it, but it's a great option if you want a very hydrating primer. My skin is oily, but I've heard that when your skin's oily, it just needs more moisture. I don't know that I agree with that 100% because I do moisturize my skin and it's still extra oily. But I will say that this particular primer does a great job at prepping my skin for foundation, and my foundations go on so nicely. So I don't remember where I left off, but basically all of that to say that the accountability has been so big for me. It's made such a difference. I honestly have been doing so much better than I ever do on my own. I haven't missed one session. I go 3 times a week, and they also keep you accountable with what you're eating. They use a different company to kind of create a meal plan and things like that. So everything has been going so well. I mean, honestly, I really do respond way better to outer expectations than inner expectations. I am keeping myself accountable by paying, because whether or not I go, I still have to pay the same amount every, week or whatever. So it's not cheap. I mean, physical trainers are not the most affordable thing in the world, but I do think it's worth every penny for sure. I mean, obviously, like if I miss a session, it rolls over and things like that, but essentially I'm paying for these, so I don't want to miss them. And on top of that, the trainers are so nice. Everybody there is so nice. And I do like a semi-private training, so there can be anywhere from like 1 to 5 people there. And I kind of like that small group setting rather than like a one-on-one personal training setting, just because it's a little bit more fun. It feels a little bit less intimidating, and it's just been going really well. So for foundation, I'm going in with the Urban Decay All Nighter Waterproof Longwear Liquid Foundation. I wear the shade 1.0. And then I just mix in a little bit of the Urban Decay Velvetizer. This is a translucent mix-in medium. It just makes your foundation a little bit more, oh my gosh, mine's like completely gone. I actually did repurchase this during the Sephora VIB sale. I need to film a haul video. I only got a couple of things, but I want to film a Sephora and Ulta haul for you guys because I have picked up a few things over the past few weeks. So I just take it on my finger and apply it to my face and then use a brush to blend it in. I feel like when you take your finger and apply it, it just kind of melts the product into your skin a little bit more rather than using the brush, and it helps to soak up less product. And if you're using a more expensive foundation, that's definitely important. I've repurchased this a couple times. I hate spending the money because it's almost like $40, but it's such a good foundation. It just gives me really great coverage. This color is a little bit light for me, but this foundation does oxidize, so I might look a little bit pale on camera, but throughout the day it will match the rest of my skin really well. And as you guys will be able to see, it covers everything. My skin is very red. I have a lot of freckles. My skin's been breaking out because I have been eating really well. So I think it's just going through like a detox phase, but it's clearing up a little bit. It just looks a little rough in the meantime. But the nice thing is this foundation honestly just makes your skin look really flawless, and it can have a tendency to look cakey, but if you just take your time and blend it in really well instead of just like slapping it on and going, I think it's fine. I really just buff it into the skin, and then I'll just take a little bit more and like stipple over any places that might need a little extra coverage, but it's just my favorite foundation of all time. So yesterday at church, they started a new series, and I think it's going to be really good. The teaching at our church is very practical, very applicable. So even if you are not a churchgoer and you're not really interested in this topic, I don't think that this is going to bother. I think it's applicable, basically, is what I'm trying to say. So anyways, it's about I think it's called Simple Christmas, and yesterday's message was about gift giving. And I just thought I would share with you guys because I have a beauty channel on YouTube, so obviously around the holiday season, a lot of my videos focus on, you know, gift giving in the physical sense, like commercialism and consumerism, and I'm like, buy this, try this, but I never want you guys to get the feeling from my channel that I think that's what's important in life is like buying makeup and spending your money on things, but it kind of comes with the territory. I mean, there's nothing wrong with makeup for sure. I love it. I think it's so fun. I love chatting about it with you guys on YouTube, and I don't think there's anything wrong with telling you that I would recommend checking out a certain product, but I do feel like when you look at YouTube during the holiday season, it kind of looks like everybody's just buying gifts and, you know, spending a lot of money on Christmas decor and things like that, which again is fine. I mean, there's nothing wrong with spending money, but I just feel like sometimes I have a hard time, I guess, connecting with you guys on a personal level because I'm so focused on the content that I'm creating. Like if I'm talking about a gift guide, I don't always get to like, I guess, chat with you, which is fine because not everybody wants to see that, but I don't ever want you to get the idea that I think like that's what's important in life. Like makeup is what's important in life. I mean, in the grand scheme of things, it's pretty low on my priority list. I think it's fun to talk about, and I guess I don't know how to say that in the right way. I'm not trying to sound like, I don't know. I'm grateful because I love YouTube and it's like one of my favorite things in the entire world. But if it were up to me in this stage of my life, I probably wouldn't be chatting about makeup every single day, but that's what my channel is. I do love it. I think it's really fun, but it's definitely not the most important thing. So when you see like my gift guide videos and things like that, I hope you guys know like that's not, you know, when it comes to the holiday season, that's not what I'm focused on, and that's not what I think you should be focused on. If you want to, that's fine, but it's not what I'm trying to tell you to focus on or spend all your money on. I think I look pretty pale and ghostly. I promise the foundation will oxidize, and the powder that I'm using will kind of even everything out, so just bear with me. I'm just using the ColourPop No Filter Concealer in this shade Fair Neutral, just to apply this under my eyes a little bit, and then between my brows and around my nose. And then I'm just going to blend it out. But anyways, I don't remember exactly where I was going with that other than the fact that when they were talking about gifts, it kind of brought to mind my channel and the fact that I spend so much time talking about those type of gifts rather than intangible gifts like time and service and, you know, giving to those who can't necessarily give back. So it was just a good reminder. I think it's easy for all of us to get caught up in the commercialism of Christmas, and I mean, obviously that's just not what it's about at all. It is a fun touch for sure, but I think this season is so fun and so festive, but sometimes it can be a little bit stressful because you're just worried about gifts and spending money, and I hope you guys just don't get the vibe from my channel where I'm like, you have to buy this and you need this and this will make you happy, because in the end, makeup, I mean, it is fun and it can make you happier, but it's not, you know, the answer. It's not the solution. I just don't want you guys to get that feeling from my channel because I do put out a lot of content, you know, where I don't get to really explain other things that are important in life other than makeup. Hopefully that tangent made sense. The problem with filming like a get ready with me as you talk while using your makeup is if you go back and edit the video, if it didn't make sense, you can't really get rid of it because, you know, that included like half your makeup. So I normally set my eyes, my under eyes with the Urban Decay Velvetizer, and I'm completely out of it. I do have another one. I just don't know where it is right now. So I usually set my under eye concealer with this because it doesn't crease whenever I use this. But I don't know, I'm just looking forward to this series because there were, I forget what the upcoming ones were. They were about like relationships and scheduling around Christmas time and things like that. Things that are just supposed to kind of make your Christmas season a little bit more simple. So I can't wait. So I'm going to be using the Becca Cosmetics Sunlit Bronzer in the shade Capri Coast, which is my favorite. I have just been loving this bronzer so much. And this one's a Wet n Wild brush. I'm going to try to put the names of the brushes that I used on the screen. I don't believe all of my brushes are cruelty free. I need to go through my brushes and do a declutter. A lot of you guys said that you wanted to see another, I should have put my hair up, but I did it for the day and then I was like, oh, I'm going to film a get ready with me. So if I put it up, it will undo all the progress that I made on it. Like I curled it and everything, so I just kind of pinned it out of the way. Anyways, a lot of you guys said you did want to see another declutter series, and some of you guys have been asking me for a makeup brush declutter, so I do need to get around to that. I have so many brushes that it's not even funny. I decluttered them last year, I just didn't film it. but I'll probably end up filming it this year if people do actually want to see that. I need to go through and declutter my collection. My collection's actually not too bad because not too long ago I went through and got rid of the majority of products that aren't cruelty-free that I just don't use anymore, and I gave them to my sisters and my mom. So I don't have a ton of products to declutter, but it always is nice to start off like the new year with a nice like decluttered makeup collection. I'm just going to use the Catrice Prime and Fine Contouring Kit, and I'm just going to use the contouring side. I don't really like the highlight in here, but the contour is nice. What is something that you guys are interested in other than makeup? So obviously, like, we're here on YouTube because we love beauty products, we love makeup, but what is something else that you guys like? Like, are you into crafting? Are you into home decor? Are you like really into like fitness and health and exercise? I'm just always curious because for me personally, like makeup is something that is really fun, but it feels like such a small part of my life in comparison to, you know, all my other interests. Like, I feel like people would describe me as someone who loves beauty because this is what I do, you know, on YouTube. But in general, I don't know, like if I had to like name my top 3 interests, yeah, I guess it would be on the list. I just don't think it would be like the top of the list. Like, I don't ever have any interest in like creating a makeup line, and I don't have any interest in ever becoming like a professional makeup artist or anything like that. Like, I'm completely content like just being on YouTube as like a regular person who likes makeup. I would never go like the makeup line route. So I'm going to be using the Hourglass Ambient Lighting Blush in the shade Ethereal Glow. It's a really pretty like natural pink color, and I just think it looks pretty with this eye look. But like I said, home decor is really fun. I don't like to spend a lot of money on home decor because I feel like styles change, and even since we've gotten married, like my style has changed so much. I feel like I'm getting there where like my living room and my dining room and my kitchen is like almost complete. And like I said, our house is pretty small, so it doesn't take that much, which I kind of like. But every once in a while I'm like, I don't know if I like that anymore, and then like I want to switch it out. So that's why I'm all about affordable home decor, because it can get really expensive. I actually buy a lot of my products at Target. They have some really good finds. The Nate Berkus line is so nice, and even the Threshold line has a lot of great things. And then I do like Pier 1 on occasion. Honestly, TJ Maxx and Marshalls have great products. Wayfair has a lot of good things online. I actually got my couch from Wayfair and I love it. It's one of my favorite products. I'm going to be using the Anastasia Brow Powder Duo in the shade Dark Brown just to fill in my brows. Actually, first I'm going to brush through them with some brow gel. So my family is going down to Florida the week after Christmas, and I am so excited. We were in Florida in, I think it was May, and we just had the best time. My grandparents live in Florida, so we usually visit them. We go to Disney. We just kind of have like, you know, a fun time enjoying the warm weather, and I just cannot wait. Honestly, I would move down south so fast if it wasn't for Brady and the fact that he loves his job so much, and he actually loves the colder weather. And my family does live here too, so of course it's so nice to be near family. But if all of us could relocate down in the warm weather, or down by the warm weather, that would be amazing. So we're really excited. I know that it's kind of like a crazy time of the year in Orlando during, you know, Christmas time. It's usually like so crowded. I think we're going to go to Disney for a few days. I don't think we're going to go to Universal. Brady is like the biggest Harry Potter fan ever, so we usually don't miss a chance to go to Universal when we're in Florida, but we were just there in May, so it wasn't too long ago. I don't know, I just feel like you have to pick and choose what you want to do when the crowds are so crazy. But either way, it will be really fun to be with family for an entire week, and I just can't wait. So what are you guys doing for Christmas or the holiday season? Do you travel? Do you stay at home? Do you host? And what are like your fun Christmas or holiday traditions? Then I'm going to take this shimmery shadow and just place that in the inner corner just to highlight. This is a really pretty color. I usually use a ColourPop color to highlight, but I forgot that I love this one a lot. So I've been using the Essence Cosmetics The False Lashes Mascara. This one's really nice. It makes your lashes long and voluminous and thick. It's just like a good everyday mascara. I will say that it does transfer a little bit, so if you usually struggle with your mascaras transferring, this one is not going to be ideal for you. I think one of you guys gave me the tip to layer a waterproof mascara on top of it, which I might have to try. I just don't love waterproof mascaras because they're so hard to get off. Babe? That scared me so bad, but it was just Brady dropping off my coffee. I didn't know what time he was coming. What time is it? My days are like so thrown off because I work out early now. I mean, I work out at 8, which isn't super early, but it gets my day started really early. Before I was staying up to like 3 a.m. I'd wake up at like 9 or 10. It would just throw my whole day off. So I feel like I've been a lot more productive. But anyways, he was just dropping off my coffee, which was really nice of him. And then I just went in with the IT Cosmetics Superhero Mascara, which is really great for adding a ton of volume. I'm just taking the nude liner from ColourPop in the shade Honeydew and using that to line my waterline. This really helps just brighten up your eyes. So finishing up, I'm just going to take the ColourPop lip liner in the shade BFF and line my lips. This is my favorite lip liner ever. I just finished up one of them. It's just like the perfect nude shade for me. And then they also have BFF 2, which is a little bit darker, and then BFF 3, which is even darker. So if you're looking for a good nude lip liner, I would recommend checking them out. Then I'm taking the ColourPop Ultra Matte Lip in the shade Trap. Mine's a little bit old. I feel like it has changed color a little bit, so I actually ordered a new one, but I don't know if I got it in the mail yet. So in the meantime, I'm just going to use this one. It's just a really nice, cooler toned nude with a little bit of pink in it. It's one of my favorites for the winter time. I always go back to it during the winter months. So that is the final look. Thank you guys so much for watching. I hope you enjoyed this video. I actually had a lot of fun sitting down and filming this video. Sometimes I get a little bit stressed when I film Get Ready With Me's or tutorials because it's hard for me to multitask, to like talk and do makeup at the same time. But when it's a little bit more laid back, like a chatty Get Ready With Me, I feel like there's not as much pressure. I know a lot of you guys understand that I'm not a makeup artist and I just don't feel comfortable teaching techniques because it's not something that I excel at. I always knew that I didn't want to be a teacher. That was like the one thing I knew I didn't want to do. So I feel like I'm not great at teaching. I mean, I'm not an expert when it comes to makeup, but I do like to review products on my channel. So I think people get frustrated sometimes when they come to my channel and I don't have a lot of tutorials. But I feel like that's kind of the fun part about YouTube. Not everybody does tutorials, not everybody does reviews, and my channel focuses more on like reviewing products and sharing my favorites and things like that. But I did enjoy filming this video. I just don't want people to get the wrong impression that I think I'm in a place where I can teach you guys technique. I'm just a regular person doing their makeup at home. I don't always use the right brushes. I don't always use the right exact colors or techniques, but I think a lot of you guys can relate to that. So I hope you enjoyed this video. I did have fun chatting with you guys, but make sure you leave me a comment because I do want to catch up with you. When I ask you a question in my videos, like I genuinely want to hear your answer, and I try my absolute hardest to get back to all of you. I read every single comment and I spend hours responding to comments. I really do. It hurt my feelings the other day because I read a comment that said that I don't respond to comments anymore, and it's not true. I spend hours responding. There are just so many more comments that I don't get the chance to respond to every single one of them, which I hate. I remember when I used to like thank every single person personally for subscribing to my channel, but I just can't do it anymore because I just don't have the time. But I hope you guys know I'm genuinely appreciative of every single one of you, and the fact that you take the time to watch my videos and leave comments, it means so much to me, and I really do appreciate you guys. So I do want to hear from you in the comments below, but I hope you guys have a great day, and I'll see you in my next video. Bye.